Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, Sastika, namaskar to all the listeners. This is attorney Shah Peerally for the Shah Peerally Law Show, and today we are talking about, of course, immigration law and a little bit about debt settlement. And I have Vidika with me on the board. Thank you so much for making things easy for me. I hope you can all hear me well. Vidika, just give me a sign if you guys can hear me well. Perfect. So let me know if you feel free to call. We will be opening the lines. It's 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. And anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. So basically today we're going to talk, of course, about immigration, but we will, like I said, we'll be opening the line, so you can ask any questions when it comes to immigration, provided I can answer you. I will be glad to do it. And of course, there are many things happening out there. One of the things news is that there's an election going on in my home country, which is Mauritius, and things are getting really tight there. And of course, like any elections, a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of things going on Facebook. It just reminded me at the time of 2016 when we had the elections in the US. So many things because it's kind of related to all the politics going on around the world. So I just wanted to mention that, and I say hi and good luck to all the parties. And now let us talk a little bit about some of the issues that we are seeing. One of them, of course, we are seeing a lot of RFEs asking the same questions about the specialty occupations, and also about one thing that they are asking very continuously is what they call about when you have a different field of education and you are basically going making sure that if you are in a different field of education and you are applying for an H-1B, for example, you need to really prove that you have the knowledge to be in that field. So be careful when you're filing. For example, it used to be like people who are civil engineer. They are applying for software engineer positions because they have a lot of experience in that. So it is important that you use a lawyer who understands what's happening, and make sure also you do some credential evaluations, etc., on your case when you're dealing with that. So again, the number to the studio today is 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. Today is November 7th. I think is the first show of this month, and we are doing. I have Vidika with me on the board. Thank you so much for being here again. And also we are covering different issues on immigration. As I mentioned to you, I don't really limit myself with one issue or another. So basically, feel free to call if you have any problems with family petitions, like for your parents, for your spouse, EB1, H1B, labor certification, you name it. Wherever I can answer you, I'll be glad to answer you. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is attorney Shah Peerally for the Shah Peerally Law Show, and we are dealing with immigration law, and of course we also deal a lot with employment debt settlement also. So so it's not so I have many things we can talk about, but of course the main thing that we always talk about are employment based. But I will cover in a few some issues that we are getting with family based, especially people who are entering on a B1 B2 visa trying to change status. Okay, so for example, someone who came to visit their family, and then for example a mother or a father coming to visit their child, and that they want to stay here, they don't want to go, and the child is a US citizen. Can they do an adjustment of status? Let me just jump into it because I'm talking about it. So let's say that's a question I get very frequently, by the way. You have your mother or your father who's coming to visit you, and you are a U.S. citizen, and they are on a visitor visa. When they enter the United States, can you file a green card for them? The answer is yes, but there are few things you have to be careful about. Number one, if you plan to do that at the outset, then you're really kind of putting yourself into some trouble, because at the end of the day, you're not willing to kind of make things, because the problem with the visitor visa, it's subject to the INA 214B. And Vedika, I don't know if we have any callers. Do we have any caller? This is Shah Peerally, 11, yeah? Okay, okay. Okay, so feel free to call 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170, and we are today November 7th, 2019, and we are live, so you can call in case you hear this show another day. That means it's a recorded show. Again, we are November 7th, 2019. So I was talking about the B1, B2, and basically when you enter the United States, can you change it to a green card? Well, of course, first of all, you have to qualify, and those who qualify are, number one, immediate relatives like parents or a spouse, and if your children are U.S. citizen, they have a right to file for you when you enter. Now, the question is, let's say, for example, you enter on a first and you file it on the second. Definitely this will cause problems because of the INA 214B. There is some kind of immigrant intent going on here, which means basically it seems like you kind of trick the system by using the visitor visa to enter and then filing an adjustment of status. But there is an accepted rule, although it's not a law kind of, it's a 90-day rule. So after you entered, then if after 90 days you file the adjustment of status, then that presumption of fraud, it's called a rebuttable presumption of fraud, goes away. So then in this case, it is very, very different. So it's not something that people should really kind of abuse, because it can backfire on you, because even though you pass the 90 days, there's still they can claim that you committed fraud because you pretty much kind of use the system to enter the United States while you're not supposed to do that and plan to go for a green card. So the way it works is like if you already planned this before you set foot inside the US, then you're pretty much in that violating this intent law. And but if you set foot after you set foot, then you basically say, now I decided to stay. I mean, your mom or your father decide to stay. Then it's kind of okay because the intent is formed after. However, if the intent is formed right away after you entered, then you have another problem because you're still within that 90 days of presumption of fraud. So the other thing that becomes a little bit tricky is that a lot of people ask me the question, but how do they know about this? Well, first of all, as a lawyer, I cannot advise you to lie because it will be a lie. But at the same time, let's say they infer from the way you conducted yourself. For example, let's say you're traveling inside the U.S. and you're bringing a bunch of paperwork to do an adjustment of status, like your birth certificate, an availability of birth certificate, ration card, medical bill, school reports. All those are with you just to prove your birthday, and then you're coming to the airport for a visit. If they find out with you, they can use that later on to say you pretty much planned the whole thing. So this is one of the things that becomes very, very important, is your intent at the time of the entering the United States. So to repeat that, if your intent was formed before you enter and they prove that, they don't have to prove it, if they believe that, then you will have the duty to disprove them. Then ultimately you have a problem. You might not be able to adjust status. Now, having said that, most of the cases they don't have this issue. Ultimately, people are able to adjust status. But the problem with adjusting status now is the paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork involved in those cases, and oftentimes people don't realize how much they pretty much kind of they miss on it, or they make mistakes with everything. So once they make mistakes, then the whole thing becomes it becomes very complicated, and you might even get a denial, because then the case gets delayed. Now, the other thing that happens for parents when they enter, oftentimes, since the process itself, once you enter and you file this, after the 3 months, let's say you file it, the process itself takes another 8 months or so. So what happens in there is that within that 8 months, where it is pending, many of the elderly people, they will want to go back home to visit. The thing is that if they want to do that, then you need to wait for an approval of the advance parole if you file one. So rule number one, make sure you file an advance parole with the package. There's no additional fee for that. Number two, I also recommend you file for work permit and Form I-765. Of course, there's a bunch of other forms like I-130, I-45. These are main forms, but I'm mentioning all these two because it's important. Why do you want to file for the work permit? The reason you want to file for the work permit is because the work permit itself will be approved within like 3-4 months, and what it will do, it will allow your mother or your father to go to the Social Security office, get a Social Security number. Okay, that doesn't mean they get Social Security. All it means is that it will allow them to also take that to the DMV and get a driver's license if they have one, or an ID. And that's very, very helpful. When you're in America, these are major things that you want to have. So since there are no additional fees to file those, the I-131, which is the advance parole, and the I-765, which is for the employment authorization, the EAD, go ahead and file it. Okay, so now all those documents pulled together, if you file it wrong, will get delayed, and it might take a month and to be solved, and sometimes you might even get a denial. This is where it's interesting sometimes to hire a lawyer, and I mean a real lawyer, not some fake lawyers, because that too now we are seeing. So if you need help on those, you can call us 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887. And again, the number to the studio today, if you want to ask any live questions, 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170. And this is Attorney Shah Peerally. We are live on air, and we are talking about immigration law, and we will be here for another 40 minutes. So feel free to reach out, and if you need any help, well, a little bit less than 40 minutes, by the way, like 30 minutes, but I'll be glad to answer your question if I know the answer. Now, again, the number to the studio, 510-657-1170. I'm talking first right now about adjustment of status based on a visitor visa, for example. Even it applies also for a student visa, because those are non-dual intent visas. Let me take one caller first, and then we'll continue on that. This is Shah Peerally, you're live on air. Hello.
Yes. Hello, sir. Thanks for taking my call. I had
You're
a quick
welcome.
question. I am a citizen, and I wanted to sponsor my brother. And my brother is born in India, but a Canadian citizen, now living in Texas on H-1B. And his company has also applied for his green card in 2016. And I just got my citizenship here right now. So my question was, can I also apply, for my brother's, can I sponsor my brother at this point of time? Like, is dual application allowed?
Yes, definitely. In fact, it is recommended to have a second one as a backup. There's nothing that prevents you to file for your brother, even he has an employment-based file with his company. However, the drawback is that it takes almost like 15 to 17 years to get it. But again, for India, it takes around the same time for an employment base. By the way, just because he's a Canadian citizen, unless he was born in Canada, he doesn't get the preference of the timing. So yes, it is to your advantage to file it, and there's no problem to file it. Okay.
Okay, so how much time, sorry, can you please, I just missed that, how much time would it take for him to get his green card?
Around 15 to 17 years.
15 to 17 years. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Thank you so much for calling. And this is another interesting case because situation that is related to family petitions. For brothers and sisters, it takes a long time. And the part which is kind of counterintuitive is that green card holders who petitions for their brothers and sisters, I think, goes a little bit faster, if I'm not mistaken. But it is an interesting fact. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a very good questions when it comes to that, and we were talking, of course, about family petitions earlier, adjustment of status, entering on a B1, B2 visa, or even a student F1 visa. How you can adjust your status, and the studio lines are open still. 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170, and we have many situations where people come to us because they file it on their own and then they get into trouble. Let me take another caller, Vidika. This is Shah Peerally. You're 11 here.
Yes, are you going to talk about the death settlement too, or just the immigration part?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, are you going to talk about the death settlement or just the immigration topic today?
Well, I'm licensed to practice anything in law in California, but I focus on immigration because that's what I know best. But you can ask your question. If I can answer, I'll be glad to. If not, then I can tell you. I can ask you to call me and I'll refer you to someone. Go ahead.
Well, question is like I have a creditor and I have like collection agency, and they closed my account. And I talked to the creditor. I filed my account, and they said my account has been charged off. What means charged off? That means I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's settlement. Yeah, we handle those two in the office. Why don't you do this? I'm not hearing you properly. Give me a call at the office and tell them is that I'll have someone talk to you and we'll get all the information and I'll guide you what to do. Okay?
I did.
510.
I called your office and no one responded to me. I did last week.
I'm sorry?
I said I did call your office last week, but I haven't heard from them. They say they took the message.
Okay. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, yeah, last week it was kind of a little bit tricky because we were short of people, so I apologize for that. Give me a call back again at the office. Tell them you talked to me on the radio, and I'll make sure that this time I'll talk to you because I cannot hear you properly. But we do help people in your situation, kind of. But it all depends because if they already kind of started garnishing your check, we need to settle that account. How much money are we talking about here?
12 grand.
12 grand. Okay, we might be able to settle it for less, but you will have to have some money to pay them, etc. So give me a call and or email me directly, Shah, SHAH at Peerally Law.
Phone number.
Yeah. Okay.
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then I will make sure this time someone talks to you itself today itself.
What's your phone number?
Okay.
Your phone number? Your phone number.
510-742-5887. 510-742-5887. I really apologize for that. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and we forgot. So I'm sorry for that. Okay? Give me a call and I'll be glad to call you back. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Take care. You're welcome. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live in here.
Oh, hi, Shah. Good morning. I got a quick question for you. The situation is I'm on H1 here, and I'm Canadian. My wife came over on H4. So the time she came over, she crossed the border. Even though her H4 was approved for a longer time, but her passport was supposed to expire about 5 months before the H4. So they got her date, what do you call the I-94 or something, about few months shorter than H4.
Yes.
So what happened while she was here, we applied for a new passport and she got her new passport, but she never left the country because she has a continued H4. So if
she left the country, she's still here.
If she travels back and forth, is there going to be any issue?
No, it all depends. But did you let it expire and continue staying, or she left before the I-94 expired?
Oh, no, she never left. She continued to stay.
How long it has been?
It's been a couple of years now, 2 years, 3 years at least.
Yeah, she will definitely have problems because she overstayed. She should have actually extended that. This is going to be a problem. You will need to basically kind of have her either I cannot really tell you that because right now she's out of status because you missed it. So it's been a couple of years the I-94 expired and you didn't do anything about it, or she left and she came back after that?
I think my impression was that she has a valid H4. We renewed the H4 and H4 EAD and everything. She is working. She has a new H4s, but she never left the country.
Okay. So then if you renew the H4, that means you got a new I-94. When you renewed the H4, was there an I-94 on the bottom of it?
I think so, it should be, but there is no. They put it like seal on the passport. The old passport has expired long time ago. She has a new passport, new H4.
It cannot be on the passport. It has to be an I-94. If you extended it inside the United States,
yes,
it should be an I-94 on the bottom of the 797. It says 797A.
Okay, yeah. So that she must have a new one then.
Okay, if she has a new one, then she's fine. It should not be a problem. Just make sure you renew the passport. The problem will be if she didn't renew or extend the H-1B, then it becomes a problem. It's a little bit long to explain, but right now I think she's fine. And if there's any confusion, give me a call at the office and I'll look at it and I'll explain to you.
All right, thank you. And another quick question.
I think she should be fine because she extended it, so she's not out of status. Otherwise, I would not even have given her the work permit. To travel, going back and forth, it won't be a problem. She just have to go and get her stamp of H4, her passport, come back, and at the airport they will give her a new I-94. Okay. Okay,
so I-94 is with the H4 form on the bottom. And what date they put on passport when you go in and out?
Okay, that's a good question. When you travel, the I-94 is issued, is called a status. Well, the stamp on your passport is not a status. When you come at the airport, they give you an I-94, which gives you a status. This is what controls your stay in the U.S. So before this expired, you're supposed to extend it if you're inside the U.S. Otherwise, if you're traveling outside, automatically it gets extended every time you travel in and out, as long as your H1 is good. In this case, since you were already she was on H4, and then you extended it already inside the U.S., then you don't have to worry what is on the passport because the passport is not what controls. It's called the last action rule. The last one that is done inside the U.S. is what controls. Okay? So right now, I think she's in good shape, no problem. She can travel. She just needs to go and get her stamping to come back. So don't worry whatever is on the I-94 online, that doesn't count as long as she's not traveling. Very important, I wanted to mention, when you travel, you come out inside, the I-94 that you get at the airport controls. But when you're inside, you don't leave, then the I-94 that you get on the paper after the I-94 that you get on the passport is what controls. Okay,
got it. Okay. One more quick question.
Good luck to you. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally, you're Avenue. Hello?
Yes. Hello, sir. Thanks for taking my call again.
Hello.
I had called a few minutes back regarding sponsoring my brother. So my question now is, since it takes a long time to, get, if I sponsor my brother for him to get his green card, what if I have to file for my nephew? Can I do that? One is 11 years and one is 8 years old.
No. You cannot file for nephews. You can only file for your brother or your sister, and they get included with their parents if in case before they turn 21, etc. But otherwise, no, you cannot file directly for your nephews. No. Okay.
So I have to file for my brother, and he can file for my nephews. Okay. And if
No,
I
he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to file for your nephews. Once you file for your brother, it automatically includes the family. But if they turn 21 by the time they get it, which they're 11, so they will probably turn 21 in 15 years, then they don't get it. Then when your brother gets his green card, then he can apply for his son or daughter. Okay? Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally, 11 here. Hello. Hello. Okay, so we don't have any other caller right now, so please feel free to call if you have any questions. 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170, and we are talking about immigration law. This is Attorney Shah Peerally for the Shah Peerally Law Show, and again we are here with Vedika on the board, and we are today November 7th, 2019, and the studio lines are still open. 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170, and Vedika is now telling me that we still have like 17 more minutes to go, so feel free to call. The lines are open. 510-657-1170. And of course, if you have any questions at the office, you can call 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887. I think we have another caller, right? Go ahead. This is Shah Peerally, 11 here. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Shah. Thanks for having this excellent show. My name is Minhaj.
Oh, thank you so
and I'm
much.
calling for my friend. So he was here on H-1B for 5 years. So his last H-1B extension was denied because he couldn't provide the client letter. So he had to go back to India. Now he is in India for the past 3 years. So a new company filed for his H-1. But what they said is they have to wait. I mean, his H-1B has to be picked in the lottery. Is that correct? And the second thing, he got one more RFE. I mean, he got an RFE on this H-1 too. So now he wants to change a company. So that company is also ready for. This is all happening in India. So that company is also ready to file his H-1. Will it be a transfer or will it be a new H-1?
Okay. Let me answer you one by one. Number one, if he has not completed the whole 6 years, or if he has an I-140 approved, then no, it's not really a new H1. What it is just a cap exempt H1, so you can still revive that as long as you have time left or you have an I-140 approved. So that's rule number one. Number two is it a transfer? No, it's not a transfer, although it is the same as a transfer. It is called a new employment cap exempt, and then you have to do a consular processing. That means after it's approved, you go and get the stamping. Now the third part of your question, can you have another company file? The answer is yes. You can have as many companies filing for you, but make sure they are consistent in their content of data on your brother. So if that answers all your questions, I hope I was able to answer it. Okay?
So a couple of questions like, so the last company has to file as a new H1. There is no transfer in this one.
No. There's no new H1. It's called a new H1, but it's not new because he's cap exempt. That means you don't have to wait to the lottery.
Okay, got it. Okay. And his first employer didn't provide the I-140. So how can he get that I-140, even though he knew that it's approved?
You can go online and do a FOIA request. The form I think is G639. Make sure you ask them to pull the I-140 for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me take another call, Vedika. This is Shah Peerally. You're live in here.
Hello, sir. I'm Ram.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I am listening to your talks on the radio. And a couple of minutes ago, you answered to a lady. She was asking for her brother to file green card for her brother.
Yes.
And I think you might have slipped your tongue. You said that green cards has lesser time. Can the green cards holders can sponsor their siblings or no?
No, you are right on that. I think I made a mistake on that. They cannot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I was
my knowledge is
referring to
concerned.
you were right. You were right. You
Can't
got that
sponsor
right.
their
Yeah,
siblings.
because green card holder cannot sponsor for their siblings. You have to be a citizen for that.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you might have slipped your tongue.
With a spouse, right? You're right. Good. Sometimes I make mistakes. I'm sorry. It's good. I stand corrected.
How much time does the spouse take if you can sponsor your spouse?
Yes, spouse you can. You can do for your spouse. You can do for only your spouse actually. On that, you cannot sponsor your siblings. You cannot sponsor your parents.
So how much time does it take for the spouse to get the green card? I mean, what's the waiting time from in India?
No, it's not that long. Actually, right now it's around the same time as citizen. So it's around 8 months to 1 year.
But someone told me that previously I heard that it takes 3 years, around 3 years. No?
Oh yeah, it used to take 7 years when when suddenly Obama reduced it in 2010, reduced the time, and since then it has been reduced and reduced. I think this year it got reduced really short. It's almost the same time as a citizenship case. So yeah, it has been reduced a lot now. Okay.
So I mean the green card holder can sponsor as soon as they get married, or they have to wait for some time to file?
No, they can file right away.
Okay. And it takes around a year.
Okay. Good luck to you. And thank you so much for mentioning that. It's good. I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
And second, and my last question is, when a person files for his or her spouse, but I mean, it's like he surely gets the spouse, or there is some like 50-50, there is some hitch, like maybe they might not get over.
As long as the marriage is genuine and they don't lie about anything, most of my cases I get them. I'll say 95% of my cases I get them. The few cases I've not gotten were because they lied or they made mistakes or they couldn't prove their marriage. But most of the cases, but anyway, when I take the case, I already evaluate it. If they don't have a good case, I'll tell them up front. But yeah, most people do get it.
Yeah, I mean, if the marriage is genuine, then it's okay. I mean, that they usually get.
Oh yeah, you will get it. But just make sure you don't make any mistakes or don't give fake documents. That's all.
Okay, so I got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live on air. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Sure. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Actually, my mother, she's on visitor visa and she's visiting us. And her visitor's visa is like her 6 months are getting over in January, and she's here because like she's helping us with my husband's health issue. So how can we get that extended, and what all do I need to do for that?
Okay, you need to get it extended before it expires. So what you need to do is file a form I-539 extension and also I-539A for the fingerprint, and it has to reach there before this one, the I-94 expires. Just to let you know, those cases usually there's a good chance of getting an approval. However, you need to make sure, because you don't want them to think that she's getting paid to help you with your husband. And also the other tricky situation is that if in case it gets denied after that date of that I-94, that the visa on her passport will also be cancelled. Okay, so be very careful. That's the only risk. Apart from that, it's not difficult. And if you need help to do the extension, you can give us a call 510-742-5887. 510-742-5887, and I'll be glad to help you. Okay. Okay.
And can you please tell us like what all documents are required?
I don't have time for that, but just give us a call at the office. We can do a consultation and I can go over it. Okay? Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live here. Hello.
Hi. So my aunt is here on a visitor visa, and I actually just received my green card. I was wondering, is there any other visa category that I can file for her? I just had a baby, and the baby is 1 year old. She was with me in Canada, and we got her extension in Canada like twice for six months, and the Canadian government gave it because, again, I was on a permanent resident for Canada. So she stayed with us for almost a year and a half in Canada. And now she's here, but I wanted to get an extension. But I heard the extension could be a bit dicey. So is there any other category of visa that I can apply for her, like which can be a long-term visa?
So is she here or she's in Canada? Where is she?
No, she is here with us right now, and she has 10-year multiple entry. She's been to US in 2016, and then she came with us now in 2018. I mean 19. Sorry, it's after 3 years.
Okay, so the same thing that the previous caller had, an extension of the visa. So if you want her to stay longer, make sure before the I-94 expires, you file what we call an extension of the visitor visa. You have to file the form I-539 plus the form I-539A. And again, if you need our help, we can help you do that. You can give us a call, 510-742-5887. But that's pretty much what you have to do, and the problem is the same. If it gets denied after the date of the I-94 is expired, what will happen is that automatically whatever the 10-year visa is on her passport will be revoked. That's the danger of doing that. But most of the time they do approve it in situations like that. Now, if she's sick, you can also file it based on humanitarian ground. It's the same thing as a visitor, the same thing as the visa that you're filing right now, but you can request a longer time. Otherwise, they will give either 3-month or 6-month max. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky. And to assess if there's a potential for other kinds of visas, that I have to talk to you longer. So give me a call at the office and we can talk about it. Okay?
Okay, perfect. I'll call you. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. 510-742-5887. I think we have another caller, right? This is Shah Peerally, you're 11 here.
Hello, Mr. Shah. This is Subhan.
Yes, sir. Hi, Subhan. How are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, I want to thank you for all the good work and the tremendous help you have been over the show. I've been listening for the past 3-4 years now.
Oh, thank you so much for listening. Thank you. It's nice to hear nice words. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I had a question regarding the H1 and the H4 EAD. So let me explain this. My H1 is expiring in this December, and the H4 EAD as well. So the extension is under process. They are preparing the paperwork and all of that. So I think I'll be applying in premium anyway. So I wanted to know if it's a better idea for the H4 EAD to be applied on my own after they apply the premium, or to send all the applications together with the H1.
Well, you sell everything together.
Okay, that's better approach.
It will go faster, not faster, but that's the way it's done.
Okay.
Because if you wait for the H1B then file it, it won't make any difference. But at least you buy those 2-3 weeks, and if your case is delayed, for example, the processing will start also for your wife's case. So send everything together. Although by law now there has never been an expedited for H4 EAD. Once in a while, as a matter of courtesy, they will expedite it together with the H1 if the H1 is premium. So the best choice is to file all together. But sometimes the companies that you work with, they don't want to do that because it's too costly for them. In this case, then you wait for it, then you file it on your own, and if you need help, we can help you on that. Okay?
I didn't get the last part. What did you say about the company not being able to do?
Okay, so what happens, let me repeat, I forgot what I said, but basically if you have to file for an H4, it's recommended to file it together, right, because you're doing premium. So sometimes you are lucky, they will do everything together. It's sometimes they barely do it now because there's no law forcing them to do premium on an H4, but you can always try your luck, and it's always good to file it all together because even your H1 is delayed, the H4 processing starts too at the same time. So that's the priority. You will like to do that. Now, if the company is refusing to do that for you because of cost or anything, you can always call me and we can handle it for you. Even before it gets approved, we can just go ahead and use the receipt and file it for you. Okay?
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
Good
so
luck
much.
to you.
Yeah.
Good. You're welcome. Thank you so much for your kind words. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to talk a little bit about something different, and I won't be taking more callers now. Feel free to call our office 510-742-5887 if you have any questions. And we are going to talk a little bit about debt settlement. We had one caller earlier about that. Debt settlement is a way to get out of debts without having to file bankruptcy. As you know, a lot of people oftentimes go into debts, and they ultimately find out that they themselves have a lot of issues and they cannot file for bankruptcy because they are overwhelmed with the debts. And I think, Vedika, you were trying to get, I don't know if Amit is here, but we'll go ahead and continue until Amit is here. So we are talking about debt settlement, and this is a very interesting thing because a lot of people sometimes they get frenzy on their credit cards, or they take loans and they cannot repay, and this is where we come in. We negotiate those loans. For example, you $10,000, we can negotiate it for maybe $2,000, and then we get you the whole thing go away. But it's not a write-off, by the way, because earlier the caller was talking about a write-off. A write-off is very different. A write-off is basically when the debt is not a write-off, a charge-off. A charge-off is when they take the debt, they sell it to another company, they charge it off of their accounts because they sell it for a penny to a dollar. So basically a debt of maybe $100,000, they can sell it maybe to $10,000. So this is the way it works. So you can check the website yourdebtsettlementattorney.com. yourdebtsettlementattorney.com. We can help you on credit cards, sometimes second mortgages if the market went down, and we can also help you on some other loans. So feel free to reach out to us 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887, and the main website is attorneyonair.com, attorneyonair.com. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Anything I told you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. And Amit, are you there?
Hey, Shah, how are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. I'll let you finish, Amit. Thank you, Vedika. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, Shah, and hello to all the listeners. This is your realtor and tax expert, Amit Gambhir.